All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thanks for so much, Tom, for being here. I think what we might want to do is put some of those breakdown videos, uh, the ones we did on your case, on your
Mhm.
script, and all that. Maybe we can just go ahead and throw those on Patreon. And then that way, people can just, get it over to the Patreon account. It's free for a week if you want to just check it out. And you can get those really long videos in a really good, like in a nutshell,
Right.
you know, because I mean, so much is already happening since we did that. And I think we're ruffling some feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Weird things are happening. They're kind of creepy. Tom, how you doing today?
It's getting creepy, but I mean, my take is that the other side's just freaking out. Like everything from interrupted phone calls to people telling me about outages to what my mom experienced even just was
Tell that story
unreal.
because that gave me the creeps. What
Yeah,
happened?
my mom was on the phone with us because we're trying to get her safely secured and taken care of. And since we started doing that, the other side, of course, the FBI is involved in this. They typed on her phone. I heard it from my end. I heard this like beep, pause, beep, pause. And then she said, my phone just spelled out 666. No lie. No lie.
What do you mean exactly? How did
It
it do
typed it
that?
out on her phone. It typed it out on her phone.
Oh,
I heard it typing. Like it typed
well,
across the screen on her phone when we were on the phone together. And then it typed zero. Now, before what happened to us, Brian, was I was on the phone with her not that long ago, and it typed my apartment number backwards. I'm not making this up. There's no point to. It was like 524. My apartment number is 425. So it went 524 and then 666. It's like, come on, guys. So they're showing they have this tech stuff, but it's like the higher level now is just kind of freaked out. It's because my mom was talking to me or talking to the realtor today, and then during the call, her phone dialed the militant's sister. She didn't dial her. The phone dialed her. It was like they're just playing too many games. And CNN is connected to Warner Bros. Is connected to AT&T, and they've been trying to debate that, but it's clear. And so ever since we launched that thing about from Elon Musk and the monkey thing, they're going to monkey talk to what was it? Kate Chilton with Sophia Stewart, the one that claims to be the mother Matrix, that top exec that became the judge and was Netflix handler, holder, litigator. That's just blowing everything open. So basically, all these players are coming at us. And that you even saw that one clip I showed you where the person went on with every single talking point. And that's why I sent you, you can look at it later, this Russell Brand thing where he's talking about the very same thing we're saying. What he says is this: they'll put an absolute lie up on you, an outlandish lie that would make you look delusional if it was true, but they don't show any backing to it. They just nods the lie. In my case, it was Tom Althouse said he was on the set of Matrix. What a delusional guy. It's like, have we ever said on our programs that I was on the set of Matrix? No. But Russell Brand's saying the same thing. They'll come out with something on him that's outlandish, and then he says they fluff it around with all these other entries, so you'll just think that it's true. It's a tactic at high level, and that's why when I saw what happened in our situation, when I lost it, I was so pissed. Rightly so, I think, after all this happened to my sons and stuff. And so when they throw this kind of stuff, I researched the guy, and it turned out he was connected to Virgin Records and Warner Brothers because of their Virgin Records connected to Warner Brothers, and so that's the only stuff they had, and it was like sideways on their site. And so what they do is they do these kind of tactics where they'll throw these talking points, and it's always the same package of talking points. But then they come up with this outlandish lie, like the attorney for Warner Brothers had thrown during our situation, where they said that they put in an email and entered into evidence that I had threatened his life, making false quotes and everything. And I was like, what? And sent it by a courier, banging on our door. And he claimed it was from himself to his own boss in his own office. When? What? So that's how they work it. They go for the outlandish lies to make it sound like you are a dangerous, crazy, nuts. And it's happening to Russell Brand, and it's happening to other people too that I know. And then meanwhile, they're messing with the phones and everything else. So it is full on. So I'm saying that I don't have a long fuse on that one. I'm like, I won't tolerate it. And What I'm asking hosts to do is if someone comes out obviously bashing a guest, which many hosts do, remove it. Remove it. Don't allow your guest to be bashed because we're out there in the wind. We'll show all the evidence, and these people aren't interested in the evidence. They're interested in just trashing you and trying to pull people away. And so that's where, yeah, it's a whole new era now where we have to zip it up and really, pack the gear and get it ready to go. And one of the interesting things, one more thing, Brian, was after we did the monkey thing about announcing, that the talking monkey would happen, then we find they jumped right to Elon saying that he's going to do on the first human, Neuralink on the first human.
Oh, absolutely. The FDA has now approved that. We can watch a little something on that if you want. Not only that, I think I have the entire talk you're talking about, and it also includes a lot of, obviously, where there was concern for that monkey, because he spends a lot of time emphasizing the fact that the monkey's doing it, like almost voluntarily at this point, and there's banana smoothie coming out of that. And, and he is up there, putting out a fire. That's what he's doing. He went out there troubleshooting. That's what he's doing.
That's exactly right. So he skipped the monkey talking, went right to the human now. Human's going to be healed, and they're making these outlandish claims that they'll have possibly full mobility and things like this. Meanwhile,
the first claim is he's going to make people be able to, was it see or hear? Now I'm not. He's made so many claims, but I think he wants to. And now I've seen way before I heard Elon's name, long time ago, cameras wired into the human brain, so he will do it. He will do it.
Yeah. They've got the tech. They've got the tech, and now I think that's why they're releasing all this stuff on UFOs, on hunting Hitler, and everything. Just think how much technology they got from the Nazi regime, and also from extraterrestrial. They make no bones about it now. But the question is, why do you hide all that from us? Why did you mislead us all this time? Some of your best minds, all this time, that it had to be leaked, and now you're releasing all your files. I'm talking about the CIA releasing all their files now.
Tom, I did a lot of news in the past, and I learned a lot of geopolitical stuff, and this all kind of merges into all of that stuff. You can take Russell Brand, you can take Donald Trump, and you can take Tucker Carlson. And these people are pushing something that they don't want to hear. And it's always the truth. It's always exposure. It's their exposure. It's their exposure. So how do you fight just a mega monster like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're working with where they have mainstream media wired to whatever they want, and they brag about that, and they think they can destroy lives that way. And that's what Russell's talking about, and that's what we were talking about. And so it's like,
I mean, we're watching Elon talk at Berkeley, and it says Marvel, and I'm like, Tom, what the hell is going on? And you wouldn't know anything about that unless you had gone through this maze of horrors.
No, we've never known. And so Marvel's a main player, as we know. And now we've got Warner Brothers, and we're hearing now about Warner Brothers and Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, doing the funding for Maui, not Elon funding it, but the entertainment fund, which has Warner Brothers. And now we're hearing about Elon Musk is tied with Tom Hanks to Maui with the plans for, making it exactly what we've been warning about, an elite place. It's exactly what we talked about. And then we see the Starlink thing where they keep talking about Starlink, and he keeps saying about Starlinks for Netflix. And we saw Kate Chilton went to Netflix. After all the people got away with all the theft, the different defendants, they all laundered through Netflix, and she became litigator content control, as we saw, for Netflix. And there's Elon Musk keeps saying in Ukraine about Netflix. It's for Netflix. He's going back to his handler. So it's like, I'll tell you, Brian, it's almost
he's deflecting that, no doubt. He's good at deflection.
Yeah.
He's good at deflection. Even his latest is things with like Tucker Carlson, 100 million people are going to brush past that. And that's a significant number. I mean, that's the numbers that the people who are being scrutinized generate. So they have to be shut down, you know. So everybody out there watching, please share this thing because you know, Tom's story, once it gets told and unfolds, is going to spiderweb out all into this stuff. And it's going to go, I mean, Starlink, you know, that was a serious, if you don't know what happened, um, I'm trying to remember the details, but the mainstream media was accusing him of, not helping the allies attack Russia
Mhm.
and literally pull off something tantamount to like Pearl Harbor on Russia.
Mhm.
And when I heard the details of it, it was obviously, you know, you say Warner Brothers, you know, and that has a soft, nice sound in Disney and you know, but
Yeah, the agent.
what the media did right there is try to press the button.
Mhm.
That would have been cataclysmic. I mean, on that would have been World War III, and they were trying to
Yeah,
do it. They're trying to make someone reach for that button, which is probably the scariest thing of all now to me. So I think
right,
Starlink also is going to be a cell phone network thing too to compete with Apple,
right. Which is
even
so
though
funny because both stole from our work, Apple and Elon Musk Group. So it's like they're playing good cop, bad cop, and that's what scares me a lot. Is that it, what Putin might be facing is actually two baddies posing as fighting each other. It's almost like they're going like this, and then they suddenly attack. I think they are intending to bring World War III if they can. So it's just like, you know, and here we are that have knowledge about all this stuff and have connected the pieces. Like you have to show that thing about Berkeley and Marble and all this, and it happened on Maui, and people are catching on, and we're told that we're closely followed. I mean, forget numbers. It's like when we get on the air, we're closely followed by these groups, the agencies, and we're told that. I got texts from key people saying, you know, you're being watched closely. And then when the phone goes off, like with my mom today and others, you know, it's like there's the 6666. They're just showing they've got the power and they're paying attention. So what we're talking about right now is going to be listened to. It's going to be heard by the people behind the curtain. They're going to be paying close attention, which
what else
doesn't.
has your mom experienced? Anything else? Do they
Yeah.
hound her pretty bad?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, the family has cut her off. The one that orchestrated it was the sister who was with Brian Fitzpatrick, the lifelong FBI operative, who's also the congressman, Pennsylvania congressman, who's the one that went to Ukraine and worked setting up Elon Musk there.
Let's
He's
start with that person. What's her name?
the sister or the congressman,
Sister.
Julia Zarko. Julia Zarko.
Okay.
And I don't know if I showed you the pictures of her with the congressman. Did I show you that?
Yeah, go ahead and if you want to put that up, do it again. Because
All
I
right, let me
think
go
we
to
should
share.
kind of start. We should kind of start with some kind of
Basic
I don't
thing.
know,
So
some kind of the person at the top that's closest to you in your family.
there they
Yeah,
are.
there she is.
I don't recognize my sister anymore because she became so arrogant. She says she's all about power and success now. Look at her
What was
holding
it
the
like with
mic.
her when you were younger?
She was gentle and sweet. I always took care of her. I looked after her. In fact, at her wedding, she danced with her brother, me, at her wedding and played Wind Beneath My Wings and said, if it wasn't for you, Tom, in tears, I'd be dead. So I was the closest thing to her as her
Well, what
brother.
was going on at that time then that was so harmful to her?
Oh, well, we were in a rough family, but
Mm.
I always looked out for her. But then what happened
Oh,
was after this clown came along, Brian Fitzpatrick, right there. When he came
yeah.
along, he just bought her off completely, lock, stock, and barrel. She completely switched. She couldn't stand it. She had to go for the rewards, and part of the rewards was being carted around to big, black tie dinners and being introduced to everybody. So now she feels like that's what they do. They introduce you to all these other powerhouses, and you feel like you're a somebody then, that you're a part of the elite
So
then.
he hired her. He's her boy. They're in a
Well,
relationship.
he
What?
is
How are they?
no, he's actually gay. So what he doesn't have a girlfriend. He's not married, but
Uh-huh.
try to keep that
So
around.
he needs to have someone appear with him.
Yeah,
So
well,
he
what we understand is it's all about the screenplay right now. It's all about the Matrix Immortals story that he's been brought in because he was the FBI at Wilshire Boulevard in Hollywood. So Kate Chilton brought him on. And so then they made him a congressman to handle her. So it's about this. They're saying our work is like 1.2 billion and more. So he was brought in he was first a thug for Ukraine to stabilize it. Then he was brought in to handle his sister. This is his job. He's supposed to handle her. He does daily. And she's just this like school counselor, elementary school counselor. And what he does is keeps giving her rewards and makes her the president of this, president of that, takes her to dinners, all kinds of stuff. She gets trips to the Caribbean, trips to London, all this stuff. Had a mansion, maid service through the floorboards. An elementary school counselor is not, it's like the lowest paid person, you know. And so here she is on the floor of Congress after the 302 attempt. That shows you also that this is right after they tried to put me away for life. And they had her saying, instead of saying what she said at the dance, she's saying, oh, he threatens me all the time. He has a gun. He's going to shoot me. And he's suicidal. So he uses that whenever he wants her to talk like a parrot. And out comes the SWAT team. I'm hauled off. They're trying to get the intellectual property
So
away.
you've been hauled off by SWAT teams
about 6 times.
Fuck.
And she holds up a video of like an interview now. She'll hold up an interview to my mom going, because she wants all her support cut off. That's her job. This is what Russell Brand's talking about. See? And so her job is to say, you know, to family, my son's cut off from every family member. We have no association with every family member now.
Everybody's watching Russell Brand happen in real time. So yeah, everybody said this is not so far-fetched. I mean, look what they had to coordinate. Russell Brand is huge. Tom, you're not famous. That's the thing. They literally can target the president of the United States, the #1 comedian fucking rock star of all fucking time. And they just fucking sweep them under a rug like that.
That's right. So I'm supposed to be done in at the egg stage, because they know I wrote the work, and it's common knowledge for all the studios I wrote the work, and they're figuring that this would cause a great deal of influence. That's why all these shills are being sent now.
So we're looking for a lady lawyer, everybody. We need a female lawyer, because that's what the geopolitical sphere is going to require us to have, is a female in there calling them liars. We can't put men in there because, you know, masculinity is toxic. Well, whatever. So, yeah, you know, so here's more on this asshole.
So here he is. He was sent to Ukraine in 2014 when our case is being thrown. Kate Chilton is working with this guy out in Hollywood. And so he becomes her main guy to take us down, right? Same time the Kate Chilton, Sophia Stewart letter is going on, the buy-off letter. And so what you have is he's in this cover article in the local paper, and it says that he was sent to basically get rid of Shokin, get rid of him. I have Biden in the middle in this shot, because it's looking right at it. Warned Ukrainian officials that they would not receive $1 billion in loan guarantees unless Shokin was removed. And it says here, asked for his opinion, Fitzpatrick's office, provided a statement that Shokin was a hindrance to anti-corruption efforts. Do you see how that is? So,
yeah, guys, if you've never seen the video, Biden literally says, it's the one where he goes, I'll be a son of a bitch. They fired him. He goes, I'm going to leave in 6 hours. If that prosecutor's not fired in 6 hours, you're not getting your $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. He goes, call the president right now. You're not getting your money. And everyone's seen that video, and this is it.
And this is the article no one's looking at. No one's looking at this article. He says he was sent there as part of the anti-corruption. He was an anti-corruption expert. And it says that general consensus that Shokin wasn't moving on the cases that existed. He wasn't pushing for reforms. So he wasn't doing the FBI wanted, is what they're saying. So they were stabilizing Ukraine in 2014 to put in the biolabs and everything. They said, I knew that he was in town. Okay, wait, it says, Shokin was, Trump had said that he was very good, and his efforts were being shut down, like Russell Brand and me. See, us. There was a lot of talk that Biden had stopped the prosecution of Burt, somebody's owner. Anyway, here it says, listen again what Fitzpatrick's saying. No one's pointing this out. Sky Australia News not pointing it out. The FBI is in league with Biden to destroy Shokin. Asked for his opinion, Fitzpatrick's office once again provided a statement that Shokin was, this is a quote from Fitzpatrick, hindrance to anti-corruption efforts. Quote, the congressman's personal experience regarding former PG Victor Shokin was that he was not cooperative with the FBI's anti-corruption efforts in Ukraine, and he posed a hindrance regarding numerous investigative matters, Fitzpatrick wrote in an email. All right, got it? So there it is. What does the FBI have a right to tell any nation what they're supposed to do? Aren't they supposed to be on U.S. soil? Why are they allowed to go to any country they want and say, if you don't do what we want, we're going to get rid of your guy. We're going to fire him and destroy his life like they do ours. Right?
It must give you some pleasure, it would me, Tom, to watch the FBI's credibility burn up in a fucking glorious fucking fireball over the last 5, 6 years. Must have been nice, buddy.
It's really nice watching this happen because we're being told from the inside it's
Nobody trusts the FBI ever
not happening.
again. They
Yeah,
want to do what, Vivek Ramaswamy is like, I'm gonna completely dismantle it. And every American friend I have applauds that, and so do I.
that's right. That's right. So
Unbelievable.
listen to what this answer right here. Asked whether or not the congressman has any concerns that Biden had improperly influenced Ukrainian investigations. This is following after he just said there was a hindrance. He went there to do this stuff, and he was against anti-corruption FBI. Everybody thought he should go. So after Fitzpatrick says all that, he's asked in the article whether or not the congressman has any concerns that Biden had improperly influenced Ukrainian investigations. Hello, Fitzpatrick then says it says Fitzpatrick's office said former FBI agents are prohibited from disclosing classified or law enforcement information that has not been publicly disclosed or pertain to ongoing matters. That's like that health guy, the guy that's trans, the health trans guy, answering the questions that lady saying, like, why are you allowing these kids to be experimented on? You can come to my office and talk to me anytime. We can't discuss that at this point. It's like the same answer. But then listen to the follow-up. So it says they're prohibited from disclosing or discussing, right? Then he goes, next paragraph. Fitzpatrick's office did comment on the Trump-Zelensky call, offering a rebuke. So what you just said, you're not allowed to respond, and that you will respond, right? Oh, I also saying the congressman opposed impeachment. Okay, the congressman's beliefs that law enforcement matters must always remain separate and distinct from political matters at all times. Question.
Right.
Question. Here's
It's
my
about the
question.
dumbest thing you can say.
Because he's an FBI, lifelong FBI operative, and he's a
Traitor.
congressman.
Yeah.
Read it again. Read it. The congressman believes that law enforcement matters must always remain separate and distinct from political matters at all times. Then why you both positions?
Yeah.
See, he's saying that in the article because we're bringing it forward. We were bringing it forward so he does a cover article. But that's not an answer, is it?
Because people believe that, and they read it and believe it. It's
That's
not.
Right.
It's the furthest from the truth. Yes. Furthest thing.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? Anyway, that's
not to me. It is incredible. But you know what? It's incredible, Tom, that you're still in there fighting after all this time. But again, the things are getting so incredible. Your story sounds like almost it's getting to almost par for the course on how people are attacked. It's almost textbook, stuff was done on you.
Yeah.
So much stuff, Tom. How the hell did you even get through it?
Well,
My God.
Look at the Disney call. Like I said, the interviews like we're doing right here, Brian. This is what got us through, and this is what caused them to back off. So they actually say there's a lot more people watching than shows. It shows up. In fact, there was one thing we had where it said about 4,000, and then the number ratio said 62 or something. It was like, what? So they're not showing the numbers. And in fact, I've had a lot of calls from the inside saying that too, that we are well known all across the planet, that people know if you go out in the street and ask about Tumult House, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying this is how it works. So they try to shut you down, but they can't. So somebody would say, do you know about this guy in the Matrix case? Yeah, I heard all about that. You can go in a bar and ask. It's just incredible that people know all across the planet, but they make it look like nobody knows, right? But we're past the tipping point. We're past that 20% tipping point where it's going to fly. I think this discovery over George R.R. Martin, though, just floors me. It actually floored me that's like, he was working for hire for Warner Bros. And HBO. HBO has been one of the big baddies in this whole thing, too. The entertainment industry does not have the power that we think they do. They don't have as much power as the agencies in the Vatican. But what keeps sneaking in there under the radar, too, is the Red Cross, which I was hired to work with when I was on Maui, right off the bat, right out of the gate. So people, I think you said it. A lot of these groups seem like they're, innocuous, like not no threat, but they're actually batteries for the whole thing going on. They are functioning for the agencies, and they are
totally true. If you go into any kind of conspiracy rabbit hole, it's like it just keeps branching off into other things, and you just find out that this whole system is just a lie. You need to rise above.
It's like a shell game where they move the shells around, and it's like, then you find out the P is under every single one of them. It's like they have just, what I'm learning. And then they start sharing all this information with us and we learn what to say. Now we're always one step ahead of them. Like we said about the monkey going to speak. That's why I'm told they did this thing about we're going to do a human now. They react immediately to what we do. So even if it doesn't look like we have a lot of numbers, they follow what we say, like the monkey with the phone, monkey with the system, shutting powers off here, there, and they send their shills. The more shills they send that are sending like Russell described, a key lie surrounded by fluffy stuff to make it look like it's real and make it look like you're what quote delusional. That's their main word, delusional. How many times I've heard that?
I've
So
seen
yeah,
it so many times in geopolitics. I've seen it so many times on large scales, small scales. I'm like, how the hell do they afford all this? I'll tell you, because there are globalists with limitless amounts of money, literally limitless money, and they just pay and pay and pay. It's like they print it. It's insane. It's insane what they can launch on you. A
yes, they
whole
can.
new reality is what they launch on you.
You're right. And when people ask why would they do this to you, why would they do this to you? It's like they tell you when they call you, they tell you your worth. Like I think I said this before, where they tell you what they value your worth at. And so what was the latest was like 1.2 billion. You heard me use that phrase or number? That's what the inside says. That's what Disney says. You are worth 1.2 billion. So there's a whole register that's not seen by the public that people are rated. And as far as the public view, we're down here. But as far as the Disney and the rest of the elite, we're up here. They place us above them as value. So that's why the public's being fooled by this. And they try to kill us in the egg, like I said. They try to kill us in the egg. But they pay attention to those they value at high levels. But they don't want the public seeing that value. So they keep shutting us down, right? But we
The
don't
puppet
stop.
master.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So, but we don't stop. If we know, if they've told us that we have certain value and it's like, and that we are influential, then we're going to be influential. Even if it's like, in fact, in the original screenplay in here, you have Neo going to talk to the free people outside the program, right? And what happens is no one shows up. And that's the character based on me before I even, before the work was even made. And so Smith mocks him. Smith mocks him when he gathered. Only one homeless guy shows up. Does that sound wild? It's like like I said, they put us in our own movie. And so
Maybe I've been looking at this all wrong. 1.2 billion is a lot of money in 1990 something, a lot of money. Um, Now it's kind of not, but it is. Of course, anything with it starts with a B is going to be great. But I was just thinking, instead of looking at it value in dollars, maybe they don't want anyone to hear that story, and
value and
maybe
influence.
that
Yeah.
is the threat that
Yes,
they
the story.
really, and that's why they will not measure this attack on you in time, life, dollars, or
Right.
anything valuable, at all. They don't
That's a
care.
very
They
good point.
won't lose come fucking hell or high water.
It's influence. It's influence. And they know that we're going to make this. What did Sophia Stewart supposed to do? Shut us down from doing it. What are these other players supposed to do? Shut us down from doing it. Do a blend, do a blend, do a blend. Marvel Comics guy, do a blend with us. They all want to do a blend. And so they don't want this coming out as it was. And what I'm holding up is page 71, where you have this very thing where he goes to speak and no one shows up except a homeless guy and Smith's there to mock him. That's where we are. That's what's happening. It's happening. But Smith knows Neo's influence. He knows how dangerous he is to the group and to the agencies. And so when you put it back that way, it's like we are monitored all the time. We get on the air. If it's just you and I talking, they're going to watch what we say. And that's what I'm told. I've actually texted of that, watching closely. And that's why they monkey with the system sometimes. So it's like, yeah, but we keep speaking, we keep coming. And it's like, that's going to make a difference. And the more they throw shills at us with talking points, watch for talking points. The one would be statute of limitations, delusional, and what's some of the other ones they throw? A liar, fraud, and all kinds of stuff like threaten to not follow anymore. It's like these things come when they're packaged, like Russell says, then are packaged all together. That's like basically a hit. That's an attempt to defame. And so that's what we have to watch for. But
But we're
I'll tell
still
you,
like us trying to get ahead of that thing, a preemptive strike or whatever.
yeah,
It was smart. Everyone's saying, "Oh, this makes you look guilty." Well, there's no way out of that. I mean, to come out ahead of time, I think was smart. And I think it might be smart for you to come out ahead of time with the story itself in some way. Let's say, like, I had that idea. Can I talk about that idea, like an animated version or even
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I was thinking of maybe even a condensed version. You know, I know that younger people like these even very crudely done animations
right. Like
on
stick figures.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's something that where if it got enough attention, someone would say, "Hey, that's just like the Matrix. You're stealing from the Matrix." So you can
That's
say,
exactly it. That's
"No,
exactly
no,
right.
no."
Yeah.
And we can play that game and
That
see
is
if that
exactly
could cause a quake, a shockwave.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to
Something.
do it, Brian. That's exactly why Sophia Stewart called me and said that. You can't make it, it'll put an injunction on you. It's exactly what you just said. So we have to make it.
What would
We have to
that
make it.
mean?
If it's
I,
crude,
I,
crudely make it. Yeah, crudely.
I'm a moron when it comes to what would an injunction on you mean? What does that mean?
Injunction means they're saying I can no longer air it, cease and desist airing it because there's too many similarities to Matrix. But this predates Matrix. We have the copyright. And we got that letter now from Chilton, or from the guy who
And
received it
if
from
we
Chilton.
don't comply, then what happens?
Well, then we
Then
win anyway. It doesn't matter. They can't win because they're saying there's similarities, which means we win our
because
case.
they would have to take us to court.
We win. We win. It's they stole from us. We prove they stole from us. If they're saying similarities, they're trying to say there's not a single similarity, even Jackson Neck and everything else. So they win our case for us. So that's how it is.
Oh,
And as far as
that
statute
is
of limitations,
interesting.
no, there's not going to be a statute of limitations on us. Not at all. That's already been made clear. That's why they're so upset about it. That's why Chilton resigned. Chilton would have resigned when she's set for 2029 if it was true what that guy was slobbering about. So yeah.
Yeah. So what's the
So
what's the next step?
what's the next step? What are we one step ahead of them of? It's like the next moves they're going to make. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff centered around Maui because they're having to cover their butts on that one. It's coming out people were too organized. I mean, they just started bringing stuff out and connecting the dots,
Nothing made
and
sense.
it's not holding up. Where are the children? So Maui's going to be a big thing they're going to be wrestling with right now. They got a lot of fires to put out, and that's not a pun. They got a lot of fires to put out, literally, right? Yeah.
It was not even
So
physically possible for that kind of a fire to even just like start like that. That's like insane.
I know. And if you look at the damage circles, like if you look at the damage circles, it's coming from above. You see the cars with a burn spot around them. No other damage around the plantations or plants around them.
I've seen
There's
it
no
before in
trail of fire.
those California wildfires. It happened in real time on Google, you know, Earth. I mean, you're looking at it and boom, there's just this ignition, and it's like I've seen them with laser weapons target a
Yes,
briefcase.
yes, absolutely. Now, what they should have done, having been trained inside, having been trained inside, but they shouldn't have done anything. But the thing is, they could have run a story that there was a couple arsonists and they could pull that off. That's like weather balloons for aliens. So they could have pulled off the some arsonists did this, and we're tracking them down and make the FBI and CIA look like good guys. That would have been the smart move on their part.
They didn't warn anybody. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't pull the warning siren.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was there's
And I'll
always
tell you,
one thing like that makes absolutely no fucking sense. It's like, what?
especially not in Hawaii,
Everything's on fire.
on Maui, that thing would sound at the drop of a hat, and we would pay attention. It was
And
what we
don't
counted
forget
on.
that false nuclear attack that they screwed up.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. You know. So, and
That is
now
a
we're learning
really
about
poorly run area.
yeah,
Poorly
now we're
run.
learning about weather control and things like this. We are in the
And they
time of
hate
sci-fi.
Oprah now. She has the nerve with the money she has made and stuff like that to get on there and go, oh, send money. It's like, you know what? Oh my God. And
She
she's
could have helped a
doing
lot.
nothing.
She could have done a lot for people, but she's more concerned about putting her makeup on. You
Oh
know,
God, she did that weird girl school in Africa. That's the weirdest thing of all.
well, you saw that. Did you see that thing about Warner Brothers funding? We showed that, right? Did we take a look at that? The funding,
Show again.
the fund. Did you see that yet?
Oh, her and Dwayne Johnson?
No, no, the actual fund, which is actually Warner Brothers fund. So when you give to Maui, you're giving to Warner Brothers. Did you see that? And Bill Gates. Did I show you that?
Yes, now I remember. Show it again.
Okay, so let me pull it up.
Show it real quick.
This kills me. So I'm gonna get right here. Okay, I
That
got it.
is
All right, let me go to share. And
damn
what
him.
point out?
That's
Watch
about
what
one of the most scariest individuals on the planet, Bill Gates.
yeah, let's dissect it right here. Look at this. Here, oops, and here. Watch. Okay, read this right here. Let me read it to you. The EIF, Entertainment Industry Foundation. Now watch who they gave to. Our history. Created in 1942 by Hollywood icons. They were taking control back then, right? When military was or government agencies working with Hollywood for content
Oh
control.
yes.
Samuel
They can
Goldwyn,
sell
Humphrey.
you anything and tell you anything.
That's right. Humphrey Bogart. Get your actors, right? Get your actor faces. And the Warner
Cagney.
Brothers. And the Warner Brothers. The Entertainment Industry Foundation is focused on some of the most pressing needs of our time, from the first grants directed to wartime agencies, right? Of course, the wartime agency, such as the United Service Organizations and American Red Cross, which are the ones that got Nazis, right? Their paperwork and everything, including Hitler's staff, to
Operation
utilizing the
Paperclip.
power. Yep, to utilizing the power of the industry to help eradicate child polio. Bill Gates and Africa experiments with injections to eradicate polio. So right now
Yeah,
we've
see,
got,
it actually has popped back up for crying out
of
loud.
course, so we've got wartime warmongers, American Red Cross, the one that got the Nazis out, and Bill Gates. So the money's going to these guys. To our current efforts to raise funds and awareness for critical health, educational, and social issues. What does that mean? What does that
Yeah.
mean? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
that makes as much sense as defund the police, basically.
That's right. That
Yeah,
means like if we give to the entertainment fund, that means they'll help pet my dog. That's a
those are Hitler words, everybody. Socialism, social, communist, Marxist words. That's all that is.
isn't this incredible? So
Another thing that
that's
needs to
this
be
is the fund.
eliminated: the Department of Education.
So would you imagine sending your money to help Lahaina through these guys? Where's the money actually going to go? Probably to the Red Cross and
But
Bill
you can't
Gates.
really understand that unless you need the knowledge. You can read right through that, and
Yeah,
think everything's great.
they must have thought we're stupid. You know, they really do think we're stupid. The contacts say they do
I'm
believe.
sorry, they dumbed us down pretty good.
Yeah, yeah,
You
they
have
did a
to
good job.
admit that the public went south pretty far.
I know they reduced the
I'm
public
sorry.
to, by and large, the public became backbiters that just trash people. It's like this is what the society became. You come to show up to try to help, right? You're an expert in your field. You accomplished great things like we have together. We've accomplished great things. And what happens? We show up to help and they start criticizing. They put you down. You try to save them, they're beating you on your back. You know, they'd rather stay in the burning building. That they really did turn people into largely mongrels. They don't, you try to help them, they'll bite you. You try to get on the air and spread stuff, they'll attack you. It's like it's after a while, Brian, you start to go, show us the good people.
Yeah.
Show us the good people. And there are good people. But that's why I think, we need to really make sure that when people come on and start slandering, just cut them off. And let's form a really good group of people. That's what we got to do. You have to. You can't let the guys come in that are part of those cookie clubs, and then some of these agency guys come in and start, acting like they're a terrorist organization. It's unbelievable. Really, it's about who's going to hold on to their influence and their power. That's what the game is right now, and that's what I'm told the game is right now. And having been groomed to lead.
And Tom brought the receipts, and so we'll link you below. Go to that Patreon if you want to see our own trilogy. We made our own trilogy on how this damn thing was stolen. It's epic, everybody. Check it out. Tom's story is, you go through that and come back to this interview again and say, okay, and you see what's happening to people from Tucker Carlson to Russell Brand to Supreme Court justices. Every lie that they can cook up, it doesn't. They have no problem pushing it forward. I don't see how there hasn't been violent revolution
Yeah.
already. I don't see how it hasn't happened already, because I've gotten like to the point where I'm just like ready to snap from the things that are going on like
That's
this.
what you
Not
saw me
not just to
recently.
you, but our country and people.
Right. Well, you saw me recently. I mean, the last couple days, a couple days ago, I had enough. I had enough, and I told somebody off. No names needed. But it's just like I had enough. We've got to take care of each other, and it's like
Mhm.
what we need to do as a community is, like you said, we need to find the right attorney step forward, and we also need to not allow the tactics of the other side to succeed anymore. Let's base it on evidence. If the evidence is shown, and we all take the time to show the evidence, then let's stand by the evidence. Let's not let somebody just come in and just say something outlandish that they just create and throw out and get away with. If you lie, if you slander, you're not part of the
Oh,
club.
yeah. Watch CNN. Watch MSNBC.
Yeah.
It's outlandish all day long. And the
Incredible.
list goes on. Not only that, other things are being infiltrated that you used to trust. And it's like,
Oh,
where does
yeah.
it end? And I'll tell you what, it's conversations like this is where the buck stops.
That's right. We just
It's
call BS.
right here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if people are gonna lie on us, okay, we're gonna call you out because that is our job now. That is our job now. It's
I
to
can almost,
defend ourselves, and we're gonna do
yeah.
it all day, every day, and we're not gonna be nice about it
If we're
because
going to show evidence,
we've been nice. We've
yes,
been nice in the past. That time has passed.
that's right. If we're
I
showing
think.
evidence and the evidence is sound and proven, and that's the thing too, if they're blocking evidence in the court system, then we got to find a way to get it in. We've got to win the game to beat the game, to change it. And so
That's the
that's why
truth.
with the
Yeah.
evidence we have, they're on the run. That's why they're on the run. They're resigning. When they start resigning in mass, that means you got them and they're telling you got them. That just means you have to find the right people to go forward that know the law and stuff like that in this case. But I'll
Somebody
tell you,
reach out to us, please. This is the
yeah,
creator of the Matrix. You know what that means? What a shitstorm that would begin. Oh, it would be a glorious, fabulous disaster for them.
we can
Oh
change
God.
everything. We can change everything. That's why they put so much attention on me besides Russell Brand and others with me. So it's, you could almost do this tracking of who got bought off. And it's like, what were they rewarded? It's like you could do a whole trail of that. It's unbelievable.
And
And they
this
got,
is not just some boring theft. We believe that the story itself contains a message
yes,
so profound that they don't dare allow us to make this. We're looking for someone to maybe animate, to look at this, to help
yes,
us release the story. We're looking for a lawyer. We're looking for
yeah,
some smart lady that wants to march in there and just give them what for us, because I don't think we can lose. All we got to do is get the ball onto the turf, and
they will
we've
surrender.
already won.
Yeah,
They're
they'll
going to
give
pay
up.
us. Yeah.
They'll give up. Like I said, as soon as it gets to depositions, file it, get to depositions. They don't want to have 7 hours of deposition televised like they had on me.
And
They,
honestly, Tom, the Matrix is done. It's over. And
yeah,
that it sucks that you had to miss it. That is a horrifying tragedy. But maybe that will coax them now finally to let it go. Let go of it. It's like
right.
they're holding on to it. Fucking let go of it.
Yeah,
It's not yours. It's
let's
not
make it
yours.
yeah. And that's what's so wild about that Kate Chilton letter I was telling you about, where it says that they admit, Kate Chilton admits that there is no copyright on the Matrix. She's admitting it. No copyright on the Matrix. They copyright everything else. They
That
didn't
piece of
copyright.
work has a rotating carousel of misinformation. I've never
Yes,
seen anything like it.
like
How many
from
I lost count how many pieces of copyright material were on that thing, and then
oh
no
my
two are
God, I
alike.
know
It's
with
like
Tom Hanks and them.
absurd.
Yeah, yeah, with Tom Hanks and
Again,
everybody.
guys, go to Patreon. There's a whole with shots of it. We totally analyze and break down all this shit. You're
Can't
gonna
be
die.
denied,
These videos are quick and easy to watch. You're gonna love them, guys.
and
Just
it
just
can't be
check them
denied.
out.
You're right. It can't be denied. That's why it's going to get to the point where nobody's going to be able to say anything. It's just like, let's just get it done and do it well. We've got the evidence. We laid it out. We've done our part. Now let's go to the next step. Right. And that's what
Yeah,
you're doing.
you already did it.
Next step.
We're just here like being long-winded about it. At this point, we just need our
You
balls
got
to
to
hit the
have to.
field. We need the game to start. Oh yeah, we have nothing better. I mean, there's nothing. We just want to. We need the catalyst.
Let's finish this.
We're reaching. We're reaching. We're reaching. We're
Can you
you know.
imagine all the preponderance evidence we have being entered into the court of law with due process? With due process. They're claiming that everybody does get due process. Let's have it. Let's have due process. And let's address the fraud. How much was done that was absolutely illegal, and they know it. Kate Chilton's afraid to go to jail. So yeah, I'm expecting someone will step forward. That'll be good.
Need a
And
shield like the one on your wall. We need a shield,
yeah,
and
that's right.
my God, they try to break into your apartment during the freaking podcast, Tom. Yo, she go to Patreon just for that reason, for crying out loud. It was they're trying to get his door open and shit. This is just getting weirder by the day. Now they're harassing your mom.
My mom with a 666 on the phone, 666 then zero. Yeah,
Not even clever.
just happened last night, and then tonight it dialed the bad sister. Just dialed on her phone when she's talking to the realtor. Just dialed her. It's like the games.
I remember when our messages they disappeared out of my phone for 48 hours.
That's
and
right.
reappeared.
That's
right.
right.
No lie.
That's right.
That was weird. Two sets of and one of our proteges, and I was like, I must have deleted it accidentally because I've done stupid shit like that, and I let it go. I didn't tell anybody, but 2 days later they were there again. And I'm like,
right.
Now that's weird. Now that's weird. So take that for what you want, guys. I mean, this is a roller coaster that we're on. Why don't you get on the ride with us and and help us out? Anybody? Again, we're looking for help. We're looking for anyone out there with an idea. Put it down below. Anybody want to just reach out to us and tell us what you're thinking? We'd appreciate it.
If we, like you said, if we make it even with stick figures, make it, people can see it. They're gonna fall apart on the other side. They'll fall apart.
I'm glad you like that idea, Tom. So any animators out there that would be willing to read the most coolest story that was stolen by Warner Brothers and turned into the Matrix trilogy, among other things, because I don't know if they can break your story down into a short form. You might have to be working with this animator to do that, but
we can do it easy.
Die to see that.
To show how it all fits back together, everything that was lifted out they thought was cool and massacred, including relationships. I mean, the whole thing like we have about the Immortals title, that's huge. The Immortals title under Tom Hanks and those other people by HBO and Warner Brothers. And then you've got them saying it's a forgery, but there's the PA number. And like you said, the signature. How's that a forgery? How can that possibly be a forgery when you got the number right there to look it up? At the Copyright Office. Anyway,
in-depth videos examining all of this, guys. You will really, really love it. Once you see that, you're gonna want to be involved. You're gonna want to be involved. At least help speak out and share this video. Because they're already pounding us. They don't like what we're saying. Of course.
Yeah, that's why they're going to be saying this, Brian. They're going to be saying this, and mark my words. We've seen this already. They're going to go, we already heard this. This is old news. It's like, no, it's not. This is not old news. This changes everything. And that's why they're resigning and on the run right now and watch for more resignations from the agencies. If it was old news, they wouldn't be reacting this way to it. They react every time we get on the air, including the thing about the monkey speaking. It's like they react all the time. When we went on the time about Bob Iger and Bob Iger resigned the next day, they react to what we say. So like that whole thing we showed you about the Brian Fitzpatrick article, that came after we were speaking, right, about it. So he does a cover article. They're jumping. And I now understand what they mean by we have the power now, because they jump when we make a move. Tonight, there will be reaction to what we've discussed. It may seem like nothing to a lot of people, but what we've talked about will make them nervous in their offices, guarantee you. And we might see something surface next couple of days from this. So yeah, well done. Good job, Brian.
Great show, Tom. So everybody, if you're interested, jump on. Like, again, this is the subject matter. Tom's script was stolen, and it's a whole spider web of madness, and we unravel that basically during our show. We are also calling ourselves the Neuralink because that was kind of the basis for his story, was the link into the computer and the actual dangers of all of that. It wasn't some ridiculous battery story, because everybody, let's think about it. In the Matrix, if the computers needed a power source, why didn't they just grow cows?
Exactly. Get more power that way.
Okay,
No,
so it's very simple. This story was not well thought out at all. It was stolen from Tom's beautiful story, and we're gonna get it done. And we want somebody who's a renegade and brave enough to jump on board. Comment below. Thank you, Tom, for being here, and we'll be back real soon, and we're gonna keep this going till something's done, buddy.
Sounds good. Let's do it that way. Let's just keep bringing it forward, and it'll happen. It'll drive them crazy. First, I'll be driven crazy. All right.
Always
Thanks,
a great talk, man. Take care, buddy.
All right, take care.
Have a good night.